Okay, well, here we are with Tess from Monadical. Monadical was one of our sponsors in the PyCon 2023. So we are very thankful with you because, well, without the sponsorship of all of these companies, we weren't able to do the event. So, well, Tess, I have a couple of questions about Monadical, of course. Like how is working there, what are you doing, right? To know a little bit what is doing Monadical, maybe I could guess that you are maybe looking for some roles. It could
Yeah,
help you,
absolutely.
of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
so just first of all, let me say it's an honor to sponsor PyCon Colombia. We've done it for a few years now. We're huge Python heads at Monadical. It's our kind of main bread and butter. So, and we love the PyCon community. We've been many times to PyCon Colombia and we think it's awesome. So we love going and we love sponsoring it. So thanks for having
Yeah.
us.
Oh, thank you. So it's really cool. Yes, in fact, I forgot that you have been sponsored many times
Yeah,
with us.
you
So
have.
yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for that. Yes. Well, Tess, so we can start with a couple of questions.
Sure.
Yeah, for example, can you tell us a little bit about Monadical and how it started?
Yeah, so Monadical is a full stack software consultancy specializing in web development and custom software solutions. We also do a little bit of like R&D work on internal projects and stuff like that. Right now, we're doing some stuff in like AI and NLP. That's a big booming area right now. Um, the company was started about 6 years ago now, founded by two co-founders named Max and Nick. They met at a kind of programmers retreat in New York called the Recurse Center. A really awesome place. It's kind of like a writer's retreat, but for programmers, where you go, people give talks, they'll kind of work on stuff together, talk to each other about their projects, et cetera, et cetera. And then they kind of made friends there. They decided to move down actually to Medellin, Colombia, with a few other programmers from that program. They kind of had a little hacker house going on down there. And they started getting connected with the Medellin programming scene, people, developers who are working down there. And eventually they were like, let's start a company together. And they started it was actually at the time a product company making an online poker platform that kind of had some elements of traditional online poker platforms and some elements of like Twitch streaming kind of stuff. So they started that company in Medellin actually, and they started working on that, hiring some of their friends that they had met in Colombia, and uh, raising money, etc. Over time, they started running into some bureaucratic red tape around the fact that it was basically a gambling platform, which can be a little bit difficult in terms of like bureaucracy and stuff like that. But they were having such a great time developing with this team that they had built that they decided to try to keep that going and see if they could get consulting work from people they knew and so on. And so they kind of poked their heads out and looked for some work, and they got some right away. And they were like, "This is great. We can work with our team that we love. We do interesting projects. It's less stressful than fundraising, or stressful in a different way." And you can work on a variety of different types of projects, which is really interesting as well. So we've been doing that for about 6 years, about 5 years, 4.5 years ish, and we've grown a lot since then. Now we have about 30 developers on staff.
Sounds really good. In fact, you look very excited with all of the projects and the way that you are working. That sounds really nice. Well, can you tell us a little bit about what are some of the challenges that you have faced growing Monadical, for example?
Yeah, I'd say some of the challenges, of course, are we are a fully remote company, so that's very different from a lot of companies. More companies are into it now, but at the time, this was before the pandemic and everything, it wasn't so much a thing. So building up the infrastructure to have a fully remote team that communicates well, that is able to execute projects really well, was a bit of a challenge. I guess the most important thing is hiring the right people and then giving them a framework that they can work in. Um, people that work really well for Monadical are people that really enjoy working independently and sort of making their own decisions about their work, what they want to work on, people who are passionate, and people who don't need a lot of hand holding. So we've sometimes had issues with people who kind of come in and expect to have a lot more of a kind of traditional top-down organizational structure where you have a manager that comes in and tells you, oh, this is what you should be doing today. This is what you should be doing tomorrow. Where's this? Can you please put this on my desk? Well, not on my desk for programmers, but you know how it is. And that doesn't really work very well for our structure. We're very self-led. We work best with people who are really motivated, curious, sort of forever learners that like to be learning new things and doing stuff sort of at their pace.
Well, sounds good because I think that a lot of developers are looking for autonomy, flexibility, yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
So people who are
And
into
it
that, they're
seems,
good fits for us.
yes, that's cool,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, why did you choose to support an event such as PyCon Colombia?
Why do we choose to support PyCon Colombia?
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Python as a language, so it's like probably the primary language that we use. All of our developers are very into Python, and we also love Colombia because obviously Monadical started there. So we love the developer community in Colombia, which we think is really engaged, passionate, and
Definitely.
um, yeah, and we love PyCon. So we've been many times. We've PyCon Colombia as well as other PyCons, and it's just always like a sizzling with activity and people who are passionate about what they're doing and who are interested and who are engaged. So we love being there, and it's not even a question. We're so into it.
Well, maybe you already answered this question, but well, a little bit more specific is like, why did you choose to have Monadical here in Colombia?
It's maybe not the expected answer, but I think at the time when Max and Nick and a few others were looking to find a place to kind of stay for a little while and live and kind of grow as developers, they were looking for a place that had a strong tech community, development community that was on the Eastern time zone. So that's maybe more of a random fact, but not too far off the time zone of the United States. So going too far on the other side of the world was going to be harder, as well with a good climate and that seemed to have a great culture that would be kind of fun to hang in for a few years. So that was the initial decision, and then once they were living there, they really fell in love with it. Max speaks Spanish now as well. Nick, not so much, but yeah.
It's curious because a lot of people say that yes, they love the weather here.
Yeah, yeah,
That is very nice. It's not
that's
so
it.
hot and it's not so cool. Well, so
Exactly,
as
exactly.
well. Well, Tess, can you tell us a little bit about, for example, the projects that you have been working on so far?
Yeah, so like I said, we work on a lot of different types of projects because we're a consultancy. So it's based on what kind of clients we have in the present moment. But some of the projects that we've worked on that have been really fun, and that we've worked on a lot of kind of similar projects. We've done a lot of work in the neuroscience space, doing like data management and data sharing tools for neuroscience research labs. Because that's a pretty big present problem in neuroscience research is there's all this kind of money that's spent on collecting data for a specific research project, but then that's kind of sequestered in that lab, right? So how can that all that data that's been collected at great expense, at great effort, be shared and be used in a way that is more efficient, right? So that's a problem that we've worked on a lot, working with neuroscience labs in the US mainly. We've also done a lot of work in the biomedical space, doing like client management, CRMs, that kind of thing. More recently, we did a lot of work in the crypto space, not because we particularly loved crypto, but it was a really booming space for a little while, and it was filled with all kinds of stuff going on. So we really were able to differentiate ourselves by being very competent in that space, and we ended up getting a lot of work in the crypto space, doing different things, platforms, smart contracts, all kinds of stuff.
Well, it looks like you are in the top of the all technologies that that are hitting the market today, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
AI, Web3. Yes,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah, with a
nice.
consultancy, you have to be flexible and you have to be willing to always be learning and growing. And that's what I love about it personally. And it fits well for that type of person.
Well, following that, how is working at Monadical? How it looks a normal day of an engineer or product manager looks like?
Yeah, so that depends a lot. Like an average typical day depends a lot on what project you're on. So we have usually a few different projects going on at any given moment, and it can be anywhere from a 3-person team to a 6 or 7-person team on a particular project, and it can be a product that the client came in and was like, oh, we want this project and this is what we want it to look like, but we have no idea how to get there, and we take them really from the beginning, from the design phases to the end of the project. Or it can be a much more technical client who comes in and is like, okay, we know exactly what we want, we know exactly what we need, we just need a few developers to come in and take this piece of the project from beginning to end. So it depends a lot on the client, on the project. Personally, I love working at Monadical. It's the best place I've ever worked. Really great working conditions, really great team, that's very supportive, a lot of flexibility to work in the way that works best for you. Like I said, it's fully remote, although we do have offices in certain cities where we have quite a few people. So if you want to go into an office, you can, but generally speaking, it's relatively remote, and you can kind of manage your life. A big cultural emphasis on like a work-life balance, on health, on yeah, figuring out the way things are going to work for you. We also have explicit company principles around how we communicate with each other, how we manage projects, how we manage expectations, that kind of stuff. So that really helps. I think it's relatively rare for companies to have sort of explicit principles that they actually follow and that they actually commit to. So that's something that I love about Monadical as well.
Okay, yeah, you look happy, so I believe you.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Well, do you have any open positions right now?
Yeah, so we pretty much hire on a rolling basis. Luckily we have had a lot of success since Monadical started, and we have grown a lot. So we're always looking for really smart, talented, motivated developers. Now, yeah, sort of full stack web developers, senior level and above. We're not really looking for too many junior people, but if you're really, really excited and motivated, try out our initial application quiz. So we have like a little game that is part of the initial step of the application, and see how you do, and yeah, go from there.
Well, following that, what advice would you give to these aspiring applicants?
Yeah, you know I think the most important thing that we value the most at Monadical is, well, I guess two things. I won't narrow it down to one. I'll say two things. One is curiosity, just having like a genuine curiosity about the world, wanting to learn new things, wanting to grow your skills. And the other is what I like to call get it done-itude. So just getting things done and out the door, right? So it's great to be curious and research and learn and think, but the other side of it is get it done, execute something, put it out, even if it's not perfect. Shipping is always king, right? So those are the two most important attributes, I would say, for any developer that wants to work at Monadical.
Yeah, she's the most common ones,
Yeah.
definitely. I love curious people, definitely, right?
Yeah.
I think that curious people is going to solve anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's last question, but not the least important is what did you like the most about the PyCon Colombia?
The people, definitely. The people are
Why?
they're so engaged, so passionate, also just like very sweet and like fun to hang out with. So yeah, the people is number one. Number two, maybe the climate. Yeah.
Okay, well, sounds good. Well, Tess, I think I don't have any questions. I know you want maybe to tell us something else that you have in mind right now.
I don't have anything particular in mind, but you can go on and check us out at monadical.com. We have a pretty good portfolio with a lot of our past projects if you're interested in that. We also have a few open source projects that we've worked on that are pretty cool if people want to take a look, like ArchiveBox. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, guys, so if you are watching this video, you know, Monadical has open position right now. You have flexibility, autonomy, you can work remotely, and in very interesting projects like AI, neuroscience, as you mentioned, and Web3, you are interested in
Absolutely.
the blockchain field. And well, Tess, I hope to have Monadical in the another time as a sponsor of the PyCon Colombia again. So hope
Absolutely.
to see you next
We're
year.
not going anywhere, so I'll see you there.
Okay, sure. Yes, I hope to see you next year here in Medellin.
Awesome. Me too.
Okay, thank you so much, Tess.
Thank you
So
very
see you in the
much.
next time.
Bye bye.